from San Diego, it's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What in the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Sports World Radio. In the house, we got the host, Jeff Ascow, which is myself, Sean Mann, the co-host. We'll bring him in just a minute. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Glad you guys could enjoy us. I hope everybody out there is having a great Thursday. I know I am. I'm sitting around watching the PGA tournament all day, and I love doing that, watching the majors. I'm having a great day myself. Remember, you can listen to Sports World Radio on SportsWorldRadio.com. You can also listen to us on HonestAnswerRadio.com. You can also listen to us on Facebook.com, over there on Facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. You can also listen to us on Spreaker.com as well. And finally, that's right, we are on iTunes, bitches. So head on over to iTunes, type in Sports World Radio. Right there, as soon as you get there, it'll bring up all our shows, and you can listen to any one of our shows. Subscribe to our iTunes channel and find out when our show is each and every day, which is at 7 p.m. on the East, 4 p.m. on the West. One more thing, we do have our chatter line open. It's on sportsworldradio.com/call SWR. That's sportsworldradio.com/CALL SWR. That's our chatter line. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what your opinion is. Anything like that, we don't care. Just tell us. We'll play it on tomorrow's show, and we'll have a good old time laughing at you and answering your questions. With all that being said, now let's bring in the co-host of Sports World Radio himself, Mr. Sean Mann, the update man. What's going on there, buddy?
Good, Jeff, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Thursday, August 8th, 2013. It is great to be back after I had some things to take care of. 7:07 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 4:07 p.m. on the West. It is a hot, sunny day, 93 degrees. It's supposed to be hot all weekend, but doesn't bother me. I'm cool, with the AC on. We, of course, got a show to do. How are you, Jeff?
I'm doing good, and I like Myth comes right into the room and he says one thing and one thing only. The first thing he says when he comes into the chat room, Pirates suck. That's beautiful. Way to start the show, Mythy. I love that.
Speaking of which, that is what we're going to start with. Let's get everybody caught up on what's going on in the Major League Baseball standings. As you all know, we are in one of the biggest months of a baseball season. It is the month of August. Let's start in the National League, shall we? If the Pirates think that there's going to be a team that could challenge them, and it's a possibility, there's a couple teams that could challenge them, and that team will start in the National League East, would be the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta is running away with this National League East division. Jeff, of course, picked the Braves at the beginning of the season, 70-45. They, of course, are way ahead of the Washington Nationals, a team that I thought was going to be good, but they're not doing very well. They're 54-60. The Mets are 52-60. Philadelphia Phillies are 52-62. Probably Charlie Manuel has seen his last hurrah in Philadelphia, and of course, you got the M&Ms, 43-70. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you think so?
What's your take on the National League East, Jeff?
Atlanta Braves.
One word right there. Yeah, 2 words, Atlanta Braves. You are right about that. You amazed about the way they're playing, or do you think it's just been...
At least they got that right.
Yeah. Atlanta has not won a World Series, everybody, since 1995, and they have been 18 years without a World Series championship, and everybody thought with Larry or Chipper Jones, whatever you call him, the Braves would not be this good. But Atlanta has just been outstanding. 38-15 at home. They're 32-30 on the road, but Atlanta has been very tough to beat all year at Turner Field.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking, and the manager's done a really great job. He used to be the Florida Marlins manager, wasn't he, before he went to the Braves?
Yeah, he's doing a great job for Atlanta, and the Braves.
Yeah.
The Braves are expected to be just an amazing team, and with the Upton boys, BJ and Justin Upton, they're doing really well.
Did you get lost somewhere in that speech?
A little bit lost. I had a little video that was going off, and it was on one of the sports links. I was like, "Shut up, you stinking thing!" I'm on.
Well, they can't hear it. They can't hear it, but I couldn't hear it, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Only
never
you can
mind.
hear it.
Atlanta, 70-45. They'll be playing the Miami Marlins, starting a 3-game set tomorrow. Atlanta's going to win the National League East, and you know what? If I am the Pirates, I would look out for Atlanta totally. I think Atlanta and Pittsburgh possibly meet in the National League Championship Series.
Don't say that. Don't
Maybe.
say that. I don't need the Pirates to make it to the National League Championships. Okay? I don't need the Pirates to make the playoffs at all, okay?
What a difference it would be. As you know, Pittsburgh, we moved to the National League Central. They're 70-44. St. Louis is 66-47. Cincinnati is 63-51. Kenny C, your Reds are starting to fade, my friend. And if your Reds are going to meet a miracle. It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as the Reds stay the way they are, those 3 teams will make the playoffs.
True, because of the stupid extra wild card.
Exactly right. All those 3 teams you just mentioned will make the playoffs along with the Dodgers. And that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's surprising to kind of see the Reds at 63-51. In my picks, I had Cincinnati as the heavy favorite, I believe, this year to win the National League Central. But you are right. They will be a wild card team. And, of course, the Reds, trying to recover after blowing a 2-0 series lead last year to the Giants in that best-of-5 to the National League Divisional Series. But everybody is just talking about the Pirates. Everybody's saying that they are the unbelievable story of baseball. 41-20 at home. They have been tough to play at BNC Park, and 29-24 on the road. Pittsburgh will be very, very tough in the playoffs, but the question is, we're all going to be asking ourselves, how far will they get? I hope they don't get really, really far. Otherwise, I'm going to, like Jeff and I pointed out before the show started, we'll never hear the end of it, and we'll hear plenty of "We Are Family" from Wes. No question about it. He's already posting on Facebook.
It's going to be Pittsburgh and the Dodgers in the first round, with the Dodgers knocking Pittsburgh out.
I can see the Dodgers actually being another team that'll knock Pittsburgh out. Atlanta would be another team, but you are right, Jeff. The Dodgers have been just unbelievable. They've won 15 of their last 16 games on the road.
Because what's going to happen is St. Louis and the Reds are going to play that one game to see which team is in. So whoever wins that team will go and play the Braves, and Pittsburgh will go play the Dodgers. That's how it's going to be. Watch.
Yeah, and remember, you go to the National League West. If you remember correctly, back around late May or June, the Dodgers were very, very much out of this race. The Dodgers in their own division in the National League. They were 30-42, and they have just turned it on. And Don Mattingly must have really had a big team meeting with them.
Do you know the Dodgers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Kansas City Royals are the 3 hottest teams in baseball right now?
How surprising is that? And, baseball, anything can happen, and it is the year of surprises. And you wouldn't expect to hear the Kansas City Royals name in that list, though, too. But the Royals will need a big miracle, even if they have a shot of getting into the playoffs. We'll get to them in just a sec.
Kansas City in their last 10 games are 8-2.
Yeah. Very tough to play right now in Kauffman Stadium, and Red Sox play a big 4-game series this weekend.
I'm looking at the standings right now, there's only 1, 2, 3 teams better than that 8-2 record is in the last 10 games. Detroit's 10-0. Okay. Rangers are 9-1, and the Braves are 10-0.
Yep, I'm just looking at the last 10 games that have happened. Very crazy. I'll get to the American League in just a sec here, Jeff. But going back to the Dodgers real quickly, 30-42. okay, everybody's saying they're pretty much done. They're out of it. But remember, they won 14 straight road games, got very hot, and they have just been, 8-2 in the last 10 games. I'd say right now the Dodgers have got the National League West division wrapped up. Only way Arizona will win is if the Dodgers go on a big losing skid and the Diamondbacks get hot. You can't count them out. It's still a long way to go. There's 40 games left to go in the regular season.
Yeah, I think that's Dodgers division right now.
It is with the way they're playing. I watched last night's game on ESPN, and the Dodgers just were all over the Cardinals.
Yeah,
and the Cardinals are starting to fade just a little. Well, they'll make the playoffs, but they're starting to fade in the division. St. Louis is.
Yeah, it depends on what's going on with that Central. The hottest team in that Central right now is Pittsburgh, and I'm not happy to say that, but at least I'm saying it.
Yeah, and Wes is all happy about that too. He was posting on Facebook, and he wants Red Sox Pirates. Get to them in just a sec. In the American League West, the Oakland Athletics look like a team that was running away right now at the AL West. But right now, you're in a tight division right there. That's a two-team race. You've got Oakland, that's 64-49. They're 4-6 in the last 10 games. And watch out, everybody, for the red-hot Texas Rangers, 65-50, and 9-1 in the last 10 games. Remember, they won a big series against the surprising and slumping and fading LA Angels of Anaheim. Seattle's 53-61.
Yeah, but they just lost one of their bats to PEDs, Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, Nelson Cruz. But I still think, if Texas can keep this thing going, it's going to be a tight race between Texas and Oakland. And then Houston is 37-76. They've been done ever since the season began.
They were done. You know what? They were done when they moved into that division.
Well, buddy, they were bad last year too.
They were done when they got moved into that division.
They haven't been the same, the Astros haven't, since 2005. That was the last time they made the World Series, and they got swept by Chicago 4-0. We moved to the American League Central, and a pivotal series in Cleveland last night. Detroit was able to take some big games in Cleveland. Now they're up, 6 games right now over the Indians in the American League Central. The Tigers playing just like we expected, because they are the defending American League champions, and they won I believe it was a 14-inning game last night over Cleveland. So the Indians are hanging in there, and so are the Royals, but Detroit, that division right now, Jeff, it looks like it's Detroit's division. It just looks like the Tigers are starting to play just the way we all expected. The last 10, 10-0, 11 straight wins, 37-19. They're going to be very tough when the playoffs begin. I even picked Detroit when the season began. Excuse me.
Well, the way it sits right now, you'd have Boston, Detroit, and Oakland in. Then you'd have the Rays and the Rangers as your wild cards. And those would play each other. Then the winner of that game would play one or the other, and boom, boom. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, so you got some tight races. In the American League East, the Boston Red Sox moved to 70-46. We talked about it last week, Jeff. We talked about what a difference a year makes, because last year about this time, the Red Sox were out of this AL East race. They were moving to last place. Remember, they went 69-93 last year. And you called it even before the season began last year that with Bobby Valentine, the Red Sox would not make the playoffs with him as manager. They removed him because he was a cancer for that team. John Farrell's been doing a great job with them. He's brought the relaxed atmosphere back to them.